Good God morning, Facebook, YouTube. How are you? I am RosaJ, doing it God's way each and every day. It is so good to be here. It is so great to know that it's Saturday morning. It is so fabulous that I can go back to bed after this is happening if I choose to. Yep, I can. And so can you, because it is Saturday. And most of us don't have to work today. However, isn't it great that the furlough is over and it will be over again in 36 or 32 days? They will just eliminate it. Why? Because that's what we perceive. That's what we desire. That's what the world in the United States wants. They want to work. We want to work, right? For those people who work for the federal government. So you'll be back to work on Monday. Isn't that great? You know, hey, Alan, how are you? You know what was the most amazing thing through this process is how many churches and people and grocery stores and businesses, they suffered. However, they also helped. People were feeding folks. Different organizations were donating monies to these people. See, we take care of our own if we say yes to them. You know, a lot of times shame and all of that get in the way, pride and stuff. But folks came out to help those families. They were given clothes, food, and money. I saw it all on Facebook. I saw it on the news. You know, people who don't really understand the situations of the everyday family, and I'm not going to name those people who don't really understand, really don't know the rippling effect of misbehaviors or not great they don't think the whole problem out. They don't know how things affect everything out in that circle. Like you throw a stone into water and you'll see the ripples get bigger and bigger and bigger before they dissipate. Before that energy dissipates, it's going in a large circle. And we saw that in this whole shutdown thing. All because someone wanted to have their way, which is ridiculous. We're not in the 1400s where we want to keep uh, good people out of our countries and we don't want to change anything. Minority folks that they're trying to have added so much to the culture of the United States that it's just crazy to try to keep people out. It's just insane. But insanity is, and how apropos does it go right with today's thoughts, today's thought in the Course in Miracles. So let me introduce myself for those people who don't know me. I am RosaJ, doing it God's way each and every day. So I am a minister. I am a student of metaphysical science, science beyond the physical, where I am studying and learning to see things beyond the natural eye, to hear things beyond the hearing, touch and feel, and without using my five senses, going beyond the five senses that appears to be evident. And in A Course in Miracles, we started with the thought that everything I see does not mean anything. And then we moved into how the images that we see don't mean anything because they're just pictures of what we think it is that we have named. And so we're learning how to become all right with expanding our vision, expanding our concept of what we have been taught is, which is kind of hard. Hey, Hudson, how are you? Thank you for joining. Where you coming from? It's just my belief, and this is my belief because I've been studying this for pretty much consciously for about 10 years, is that everything I see has more meaning than what I initially see. Everything I hear has more meaning than I initially hear it as. And the more I hear it, the more I understand it or accept it as the truth. And as the image and likeness of God walking, I have to get more into God's consciousness. And we in New Thought say that it's the Christ consciousness, where love surpasses everything, no matter what or who we or what we think is going on or what is going on around us, that we can move out of that chaotic state, because everything wants to distract us. So we're becoming more aware of our thoughts before we speak, before we do anything. Just do note and ask the question, show me the truth, or is that really the truth? And I didn't understand that in the beginning. Uganda, really? Oh my gosh. Thank you for joining. Share this out. I want to live in Africa. I haven't decided where, but that's where I want to live. And in fact, I don't want to expire in the United States. I'd love to have a place, a house in Africa where I go and be buried there. And when I went to Ghana a couple of years ago, and I remember setting foot on the soil of Africa, and I literally broke down in tears. I felt like I had been home. I came home, and I had this spiritual. I was there for 14 days, and I hardly slept. And I don't know if anyone has ever had this experience where I could feel like I had brought my ancestors home. I could feel spirits leaving me and being grateful that I had come home. It was an overwhelming experience. And I could not sleep. I think I slept for 14 hours. I would stay up because we were in Ghana, and we were on the shores of where the slave castles were. And it was a spiritually moving experience. I would stay up until daybreak and go lay down for a little while and then wake up before everyone else did. I know I only had like my hour, maybe 2 hours sleep the whole entire time. So I decided to go back to Africa. I decided to be there. So thank you for joining. And hey, Vanessa, how are you? So today's lesson, a little information. I am coming from doing this live feed from my personal page, Minister RosaJ Hodge. And around February, I will be moving to the ACIM affirmations page. I think it's more appropriate, even though my personal page is amazing. I have some amazing spirits on that page that just uplift me every day. But my ACIM affirmations page on Facebook is a page where I post serious, uplifting things. And so that's also the page where you can get my book. If you push shop, it'll take you right to Amazon. And my book is not expensive, but it is a book of affirmations that were given to me when I could not see. I went to this experience of blindness. So if you have not liked the I Am Affirmations page, please do, so that and make sure you press notifications, because that way you'll see when I make the transition over to that page. So now, also those YouTube subscribers, I'm talking to you now. Go to the I Am Affirmations page and like that. Facebook people, please subscribe to my channel. It's in the discussion, in the description, excuse me. So let's get down to the lesson. How many have, if you have been listening to me or have a copy of the A Course in Miracles book, you can get the book on Amazon, and you can also get the book on Audible. I love it. I have both. And it's like, this book is like, it's similar. It's like the Bible. When I first started reading the Bible, I couldn't assimilate any of that. It was just too much. And I didn't quite understand it, nor did I understand that every lesson in the Bible is repeated throughout the Bible. Different people write the same things or the same experiences over and over in the Bible. And as you read the Bible, you begin to understand and make connections. Well, A Course in Miracles is exactly like that. When you first start reading it, it sounds like gibberish. Your mind wants to deny it. The mind wants to say, oh, that's not true. The mind wants to intellectually decipher it. And that's not what this is all about. This is about just doing the exercises and noting the thoughts in your mind that connect, that need to be, that need to be changed, transformed, and studied and accepted. And knowing that you don't know everything. I don't know everything. I am only here to create my own salvation. And it also says, Catherine Ponder says, that because I have come to a point in my life, it is for me to share my knowledge, to share what makes me better with whomever wants to show up. And as it is my commission by the universe to share, to make what makes me better, more Christ conscious, more God-like, how to live in love. That's it. That's all. How to forgive myself, how to do all that. Because one of the things that I know, if I want to heal me or heal someone else, I have to heal me first. In my thoughts and my actions and all that kind of stuff. So if you're here for the first time, I say thank you. I honor you. Namaste. The God in me honors, loves, and adores the God in you, just for showing up. So let's take a breath and breathe and get into the lesson for today. And the lesson for today may be something that you have not ever thought about and can't even begin to assimilate it. That's all right. Just do the exercise and it'll make you more aware and more able to forgive yourself. So the lesson statement is, I do not perceive my own best interests. I can't perceive my own best interest. Now, what does that mean? That means that I really don't know what's good for me. And you might want to laugh about that. You might want to say, oh, that's not true, because I know what the best thing is for me. No, I disagree. But it's all right if you haven't gotten there. I cannot tell what's going to happen if I do this, what the final outcome will be. and how it will affect other people. I cannot even begin to perceive that pond, that stone being thrown into the pond, and how far it will go, as we talked before, and who it will affect, and how it will affect me and everybody else around me. I can't even begin to wrap my mind around it right now. However, what I can do is say that I don't know. So the lesson is, I do not perceive my own best interest. So let's begin. And I'd love to read just exactly what it says so that we may get some clarity about what this is saying, what it is, why we're doing this. So in no situation that arises do you realize the outcome that would make you happy. In no situation that arises do you realize the outcome that would make you happy. You might want to say, that's not true, but just listen. Don't even judge it, just listen. Therefore, you have no guide to appropriate actions and no way of judging the results. What you do is determined by your perception of the situation, and that perception is wrong. Remember, we're still into not really knowing what is true perception. We're learning how to perceive the world. It is inevitable then that you will not serve your own best interests, yet they are your only goal in any situation which is correctly perceived. Otherwise, you will not recognize what they are. So we are getting into the mode where we are beginning to recognize things that are happening about us, things that we think, but we haven't yet been able to perceive the outcome. If you realize that you do not perceive your own best interests, you could be taught what they are. You first have to perceive it. You have to know that you don't know your own good. You don't know how it's going to affect you. But in the present state of your convictions that you do know what they are, you can't learn. So if you think you do know, you can't learn anything new. So that means, are you coachable? Are you really coachable? Excuse me. Are you willing to take suggestions to see the best interests? The idea for today is a step towards opening your mind so that learning can begin. Let's see if anybody has anything to say. Okay, what do you say about that? Can you actually see that, or even perceive it? Begin to actually just accept it that you don't really know your own best interest. The exercise today requires much more honesty than you are accustomed to using. Be honest. I like, when I think about honesty, I always think about the word how. To be honest, open, and willing. How? To be honest, open, and willing. How do I perceive? How do I transform? To be honest, first with yourself. Open your heart, and willing to transform. The exercise for today requires much more honesty than you are accustomed to using. And when I say you, I'm not just talking about you. I'm talking about me too. A few subjects. Let's see. A few subjects. Honestly and carefully considered in each of the 5 practice periods should be undertaken today. Will be more helpful than a more cursory examination of a larger number. So you're only going to do this 2 minutes for each mind-searching exercise, and do 5 a day. So whenever it comes to you, you'll know that you should do this, or you should have some. So to begin with, the practice period should begin with repeating today's idea. And what is today's idea? Do you remember? I do not perceive my own best interest. I do not perceive my own best interest. That's how you start it. The emphasis should be on uncovering the outcome you want in any situation. You will quickly realize that you have a number of goals in mind as a part of the desired outcome. And also that these goals are on different levels and often conflict. They are often conflicting, the outcomes. So, in applying the idea for today, name the situation that occurs to you. And then enumerate carefully as many goals as possible that you would like to be met in its resolution. So, it's like looking at a picture and painting the different endings to it. The form of this application should be roughly followed. And now notice it doesn't say that you have to be exact with this. There is no right or wrong. There is no judgment. Just keep in mind that I do not perceive my own best interest. That's it. So once you've done that, and once you've actually thought about in silence, in recognizing situations that you want to change or perceive differently, you would say something like this. In the situation involving my daughter, I would like happiness to happen. And I would like her to be more understanding, roughly. And then go on to the next situation. In the situation of my job, I would like a raise to happen. And I would like a $10 raise to happen. In the situation involving my wife, my husband, I would like more respect to happen. I would also like more affection to happen, and so on. So try to cover as many different kinds of outcomes as may honestly occur to you. Excuse me. Let me get some water. Even if some of them do not appear to be directly related to the situation, or even to be inherent in all the situations. Excuse me, let me drink a little water. Hydration is good. I have all these bottles of water around my computer, just in case, right? So once you've done that, if these exercises are done properly, you will quickly recognize that you are making a large number of demands of a situation which have nothing really to do with it. You will also recognize that many of your goals are contradictory. How can you be loving how could you ask for loving in a situation when you're not loving the situation? That's a that's just a contradiction. So a lot of these goals will be contradictory, that you have no unified outcome in your mind, that you must experience disappointment in connection with some of your goals, however the situation turns out. This goes over time. In the beginning, you don't have any of that. In the beginning, you just say do the exercise, and only do it for 2 minutes and stop. Do one goal and stop. Or you may be able to do 2 or 3 situations in that time period. Remember, nothing is exact. The idea is to put it into your spirit that you want things to transform. After conveying the list of as many hoped for goals as possible for each unresolved situation that crosses your mind, say to yourself, I do not perceive my own best. Example, you close your eyes and you say, I do not perceive my own best interests in the situation concerning my trip. I would like to be in a nice hotel. I want to be in luxury. I want this to happen. And I want to have all that I need to happen. And it can be negative, it can be positive situation. I do not perceive my own best interest in this situation. Understand that. I don't know everything. I don't know how it's going to end up. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I just desire more. You know, one of my things is, thank you, God, more please. Thank you, God, more please. So, if you feel that this has resonated or moved you in some form of some kind of way, please share it on your page. Share it in your groups. It is when you change you, when I can change me and how I see the world will change. And I think the prime example of this is this shutdown. I think the prime example of this is the shutdown. And why? Because the president had a goal that he wanted, and he didn't really think it out, I think. And it affected the people of the United States so drastically that the people of the United States had to change their perception of that whole thing. They had to desire more and be more. Prayers went up and statements went out, not necessarily fussing about it, but desiring it to be corrected so that it would not affect everybody, because his actions affected everybody. Businesses, families, churches, grocery stores, everybody, people, restaurants. It just affected a lot of people in the United States. And in that cry, help came from a lot of different places. And eventually, it had to be, the outcome came out for the best for the people. See, I know that in my illnesses or in my situations, I had to be in gratitude of thought and thankfulness, even though it hurt. I had to learn how to say, thank you, God. I had to learn how to ask for help. I had to learn how to just say yes. Because as the song says, in Just Say Yes, the universe has a better and a bigger calling on our lives. And we must say yes. We must say yes. We must do because we've been called to do. So I am RosaJ, doing it God's way each and every day, and I am grateful. Share this out. Subscribe to my YouTube. Like my pages. I am Affirmations. My YouTube channel is RosaJ, and subscribe. I have over 100 and some different videos on different topics, from health to God stuff, higher consciousness. I am RosaJ. Be blessed. Have a good God day. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Share this out, like this, and I shall see you tomorrow, 6:30. Be blessed. And thank you for coming. 6:30 tomorrow. YouTube, thank you. I love you.